Alright everybody, today I'm going to be putting the rear rack and the rear bumper back onto my 2023 Sportsman. We had some issues that we had to fix from my last ride. We're getting all buttoned up today for a ride we are going to be doing at Ott Park on the 25th. There will be a video about that as well, but let's go ahead and get started. So, you want to install your rear bumper first. If you have these pieces taken off, they just slide back on. You're going to want to kind of get them a little bit out of the way because you are going to have two screws here and here that go into these two holes here by the muffler. Now, those bolts are a 1/2 inch. I cannot get in there with my impact driver, so I will be using a 1/2 inch socket and a ratchet to put them back on. It's okay if they fall off, they can be put back on after you get the bumper installed. So it just slides up in there. And it does take a little bit of wiggling to get it into the right place. And once you have some of your screw holes lined up, you can go ahead and put the bolts in there. They're going to be these short 1/2 inch bolts. And just do the same on the other side. Now to take this off, it's just the opposite of what it is to put it on. And you do want to be careful starting these because you do not want to strip them out. Once you have them all started, you can get your ratchet with your 1/2 inch drive socket. And just go ahead and tighten all those up. And if these pieces get in your way, just go ahead and take them off. They don't have to be put back on there right this minute, but you do want to put them on there before you start doing the back rack, as the back rack bolts down into these. This is probably the most time consuming part of this because you can't get a ratchet in there to do these, or you can't get an impact driver in there to do these, excuse me. This is my first YouTube video, so if it's a little shoddy work, I'm sorry. Sometimes you can screw these in a little further by hand before you get your ratchet out. Once you get all of these snugged down, you want to make sure that they're nice and tight because you don't want these falling out whenever you are riding. Alright, so now that we have our rear bumper installed and is nice and tight, you are then going to want to put these pieces back on, and your red reflective goes on the outside. So this one is for this side. Sorry, had that the wrong way. This one is for this side. And this one over here. Get the dirt out of it. Sorry, she's not super clean. Next, you want to open up this little pocket, storage box, whatever you want to call it. You'll have to move these out of the way, flip them down, and this little piece here goes over it. Alright, so now this is where you can start using your impact. As soon as I get the right one. One moment. Alright, so once you find the correct one for the size of impact-rich impact driver that you have, you're going to take the same 4 screws that come out, just a 10mm bolt. Again, you want to start them by hand so that way you make sure that they do not cross thread. Grab your impact driver and just go ahead and snug those down. Now, for this next part is whenever we are going to be putting our rear rack back on. So I do not have the stock rear rack. I have Lucky 7 Velocity Blue steel rack, as I broke the stock rack with my light whips at a ride at Carter's one day. So again, everything just goes back on the same way that you took it off. You will have this support bar that runs the outer side. You'll want to get that on somewhat lined up. It'll move a little bit whenever you put the rear rack back on. You grab your rear rack, sit it up there about where you think it goes. And I like to put these back ones in first. Go ahead and start those by hand. So that way you don't strip anything out. You will switch over to your T25 Torx bit as soon as I find what I did with it. Alright, so once you have those started by hand, just go ahead and use your impact driver. Get those buttoned down. And these two up front, all of these that are going to be going on to the rear rack are all T25 Torx bits. The three on each side have a 10mm nut and a washer to go up underneath. Sometimes you might have to loosen these back up to get all of them started. These four here these two bolt into the rear bumper, and these two up front, there's a support bar that runs all the way across the back. You can go ahead, if you had to loosen any of them up, you can go ahead and tighten them back down at this stage. So now we're just left with the three on each outside panel. You might need an extra set of hands to have somebody hold the plastic up, because my rear bumper and rack were off for a few days, so the plastic started to sag a little bit. You might need somebody to assist you and help hold these up. But they go all the way through. And whenever I took the stock bumper off, I lost the washer, so I had to make new ones. So I just got a big washer, cut the side of it off to allow it to pass these little plastic inserts here. So each one just gets a washer on the bottom, along with one of those 10mm nuts. And once you get the first one started, this is now up enough to where you can do the other two. I'm going to go ahead and do that on both sides. Alright, so once you have those two, the first ones on each side done towards the back, that'll hold up the plastics for you. These other ones will go pretty easy. Put your bolts in there. Unfortunately, mine are full of dust and mud that did not get washed off last time I washed my four-wheeler. Just a washer and a nut on the bottom of each one. Over here, do this side. Close that. And now that you have all of your nuts and bolts attached on each side, you can just go ahead. Your nut on the underside is going to be a 10 millimeter. I use a wrench because I don't tighten it up from that side. I use the T25 Torx bit and tighten it from the top. So once you get all of that tightened down, you are done. Let me show you what it looks like. We have our new rear bumper installed. Our rack is installed. So you'll have these 3 bolts here, these 2 in the middle, these 2 back here, and of course your 3 on the other side. Once you get all of that tightened up, you are done. She looks great. Thanks for watching.